It's a strange and quiet moment of realization. You go to hug your mother, or you stand next to your father at a family gathering, and you suddenly notice they seem shorter than you remember. You might even be taller than them now, for the first time. It's so easy to dismiss this. We often pass it off as a vague, inevitable part of just getting old. We might even make gentle jokes about it. It's so common that we assume it's not something to be understood, only accepted. But what if this isn't just a random, inevitable decline? What if that loss of height is a direct, measurable symptom of specific biological processes? Today, we are not going to just accept it. We are going to stop guessing and start understanding the science of why we shrink. When we talk about losing height, it's important to know where that height is actually being lost. It's not in your legs or your arms. The change, almost entirely, happens in your torso, specifically in your spine. Imagine your spine, or vertebral column, as a stack of building blocks. These are the vertebrae. Between each block is a small, gel-like cushion called an intervertebral disc. Your total height is the sum of all those blocks and all those cushions. The first, and most significant, reason we shrink is that these cushions, the intervertebral discs, change. When we are young, these discs are plump and full of water, acting as perfect shock absorbers. They are made of a remarkable substance that includes molecules called proteoglycans, which are masters at holding on to water. But as we age, two things happen. First, the number of these water-holding molecules declines. Second, the overall water content in the discs simply decreases through natural aging. Think of it this way. The discs go from being plump, juicy grapes to being drier, more compressed raisins. As these discs lose water and become more compressed, the space between each vertebra gets smaller. It's a tiny change at each level. But when you multiply that tiny compression by the 23 discs in your spine, it adds up. This process alone can account for an inch or more of height loss. But the cushions aren't the only part of the story. The building blocks themselves, the vertebrae, also change. This is where we must talk about bone density. Our bones are not static. They are in a constant state of renewal. Our bodies are always breaking down old bone and building new bone. In our youth, we build more than we lose. But as we age, especially after menopause for women, this balance can tip. We can start to lose bone mass faster than we can replace it. When this loss of bone density becomes severe, it's called osteoporosis, which literally means porous bone. The bones become more brittle and weaker. Now, apply this to the spine. The vertebrae, which are bones, become less dense and more porous. They are no longer as strong as they used to be. Under the simple, everyday pressure of gravity and movement, these weakened vertebrae can develop tiny, imperceptible fractures, or they can slowly compress on themselves, becoming shorter and flatter. The building block itself is now smaller. This loss of bone in the vertebrae, combined with the compression of the discs, is the primary biological engine of shrinking. There is a third, often overlooked factor, which is less about the spine itself and more about what supports it, your muscles. As we age, we all tend to experience some degree of sarcopenia, which is the medical term for age-related muscle loss. This includes the loss of muscle in your core, abdomen, and back, the very muscles responsible for holding your spine upright. When these support cables weaken, They can't hold the spine in its erect, healthy posture. The spine begins to curve forward at the top, a posture known as kyphosis, or what is commonly, and often unkindly, called a dowager's hump. This change in posture doesn't mean the bones have necessarily gotten shorter, but it functionally makes the person shorter as they are no longer standing at their full, upright height. When you combine this postural change with the actual shortening of the spine from disc and bone loss, the change in height can become quite noticeable. So, it is never just one thing. It is a biological cascade. The cushions, discs, compress, the blocks, bones, weaken, and the supports, muscles, fatigue. Understanding this science is the first step, because it moves us away from fear and passive acceptance and toward proactive, empathetic strategies. The how is not about a magic cure for shrinking, but about mitigation and safety. First, let's talk about mitigation. We know that bone loss is a key factor. Therefore, the single most important strategy is to protect and build bone density. Research from the National Institute on Aging consistently shows that weight-bearing exercise is critical. This doesn't mean heavy weightlifting. It means activities that put gentle, positive stress on your bones, like walking, climbing stairs, or dancing. This good stress signals to your body to keep building bone. This must be paired with nutrition. The building blocks for bone are calcium and vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential because our bodies cannot absorb calcium without it. You can get this from diet, like dairy, leafy greens, and safe sun exposure. But for many older adults, a doctor-recommended supplement is the most effective way to ensure they are getting enough. And, of course, proper hydration is key, as it directly impacts the health of those intervertebral discs. Second, and this is the most important how-to for you as a caregiver, you must shift your focus to environmental safety. Why? Because the real danger of shrinking isn't the height loss itself. The danger is what the shrinking represents. It is a symptom of weakened bones, osteoporosis, and weakened bones are dangerously susceptible to fractures. A fall that a younger person might brush off can result in a hip or spinal fracture for an older adult, an event that can be a major, life-altering setback. So, when you notice your parent is shorter, your new job is to become a fall-proofing expert. Look at their home with new eyes. Are the most used items in the kitchen on high shelves? This now presents a risk. They may be straining or using a wobbly step stool. The empathetic strategy is to reorganize their kitchen, moving essential plates, glasses, and foods to waist-level cabinets. Clear pathways. Remove tripping hazards like old rugs. Ensure good lighting. This isn't just cleaning. It's a science-backed safety intervention. Finally, the third how is the medical conversation. Use your new scientific understanding to start a non-judgmental, compassionate conversation. Instead of, "Mom, you look so short," try, "I've been learning about how bone health changes as we age. I want to make sure we're doing everything to keep you strong. Let's talk to your doctor at your next visit about a DEXA scan." A DEXA scan is the gold standard test for measuring bone mineral density. It's simple, painless, and gives you the data you need to move from guessing to knowing. It opens the door to a real medical plan, which might include medication to halt bone loss. This reframes the entire conversation from one of fear and loss to one of empowerment, knowledge, and teamwork. Understanding the science is the first step to empowerment. If you want to continue replacing stress with scientific clarity, I invite you to join our community by subscribing. And please, share your own journey in the comments below. Your story matters here.